Hey guys, welcome back to A Page in the Chapter, and welcome if you are new here. My name is Paige and today we are going through my Do-the-Thing-A-Thon TBR. So I was very excited when this readathon was brought to my attention. This is a week-long readathon taking place in the last week of May, and it is hosted by Ashley from A Frolic Through Fiction, and her announcement video will be linked down below for you guys to check out if you're interested. And essentially the purpose of this readathon is to have a week set aside where you actually actively work towards the goals that you set out for yourself for your reading. So I posted an entire video of my 2021 reading and channel goals, and I've made waves in certain areas and not in others. As much as I wanted to, it kind of just didn't happen or hasn't happened yet. And so having the opportunity to just focus in on 1 week of getting some of these books read is just a great opportunity. So really you can do whatever you want for this challenge. You can just read books and be adding to your Goodreads goal. That can count as you're doing the thing. You can read certain books from a 21 books to read in 21 video, you know, that kind of thing. So there's plenty of room to play around with this readathon, but I chose 2 things from my goal list that I am going to work towards for Do-the-Thing-A-Thon. Now the main active one in terms of the books that I've chosen that I'm working towards is the diversifying of my reading. There were kind of 2 strands to this in my 2021 reading goals, and that was to read more LGBTQ+ and to read books by more diverse authors. Now the LGBTQ one, I've made massive waves with that. I pretty much only read sapphic romances now. Definitely been making massive progress with that one, but the reading from authors of different backgrounds has not been where I would want it to be, but we're going to be rectifying that for Do-the-Thing-A-Thon. And the second goal on my reading goals list that I'm going to be working towards is writing more reviews. I kind of started to get into writing more Goodreads reviews when I was reading a lot from NetGalley and stuff like that, but I don't do that anymore, and therefore my reviews have dropped off. And this was something that I really wanted to work on this year. So for every single book that I read for Do-the-Thing-A-Thon, I'm going to be posting a full review on Goodreads, so I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So if you guys have liked what you've seen so far and you want to see if I make progress with this TBR or how things kind of turn out with this readathon, then do please hit that big red subscribe button down below so you can stick around and check out some of my other content. I have finished university now. I'm just still in university, chilling after exams, having some fun, but then we're going to be back home. The reading vlogs are coming back, the 24-hour challenges are coming back. I have some very exciting longer form videos planned that I'm so excited to get filmed now that I don't have a degree to worry about. So you guys, I want to stay tuned for that content and subscribe. And now let's get on into the books that I will be reading for Do-the-Thing-A-Thon. So there are 4 books on this TBR for the last week of May, and that is ambitious. I'm not going to read 4 books in a week. There are kind of 3 that I mainly want to get to. The last one is just an if I have time. It's very ambitious, but I am at the moment reading like a book a day or a book every 2 days because I literally have nothing to do at the moment. It's a very strange feeling when you hand in your last university assessment and you just have nothing ahead of you. So I've been filling that void with reading. So it's ambitious, but it might be doable, maybe. I'm also doing a lot of road trips that week, so car journeys, you know? Could be possible. The first book on this list is one that I'm sure you all know about. I have seen it floating around a lot in the booktube and book Twitter community, and that is Legendborn by Tracy Dion. I have heard amazing things about this book. I don't think I've seen anyone review it negatively yet, just in the people that I follow. I don't know much about this book. I've seen it so hyped on Twitter that I didn't feel like I really needed to read the blurb. I know that it is like a magical school kind of setting, and it's like demons and magic, and that's all I need to know. Demons, magic and schools are some of my favourite tropes in YA fantasy. I found this in the YA section, so I think it's a YA, but if it's not, I'm sorry. I am really excited to get to this book. I went out and bought this specifically for this readathon. When I decided that this was going to be my goal, I was like, right, Legendborn is going on this list. I ran to Waterstones, I got my points, I now own Legendborn. And then everything else is pretty much taken from what I already had on my shelves because I don't participate in readathons mostly because they involve buying a lot of new books. And the Do-the-Thing-A-Thon didn't require me to do that. So yeah, I took the excuse to buy myself one book that I have wanted for a really long time, and I'm really, really excited to get to this. Let me know your thoughts on this book down below if you've read it, which I'm sure you have because I'm very late to the game. So the next book on my list is actually one that I have bought on my Kindle. Also, can we just appreciate that my Kindle cover matches my colour branding for my channel? I'm very excited about that. The next book on my TBR is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, and this is going to be the very first book that I read next week. I have it on my Kindle. It really wasn't very expensive, so if you're looking to start this series, because I know everyone's kind of talking about it right now, it's very cheap on Kindle, and I imagine iBooks too, so that could be a good way to start. This is a series that I'm seeing a lot of people reading and really, really enjoying right now. It's a contemporary series, and I'm really on a contemporary high right now. It's all I'm wanting to read at the moment, so I think I'm going to start with that one because it fits my current reading mood, and it's going to be a nice light-hearted way to start the readathon. I also think that I can very much get this book read in a day or two, so it's just going to be a really nice fast-paced way to kick off Do-the-Thing-A-Thon and get me in a doing the thing mood. So this is about Chloe Brown, and she is chronically ill and she has a list of things that she wants to get done. So she enlists Red to help her get these things on her list done and kind of experience more of what life has to offer. It's about these two kind of getting over their assumptions about each other, and it's just exactly what I'm in the mood for. The resistance it's taking for me to not read this book right now. The fact I have to wait a week to read this book just really, I'm struggling with it because I want to read it so badly. I've heard such good things. I can see myself just binging this series and flying through it. It's exactly what I'm in the mood for, and I'm so excited. And the third book on this TBR is actually a reread for me, and kind of one of the ones that I do particularly want to get to this week, but because it's a reread, I don't know if it'll happen. So this is A Song of Wraiths and Ruin by Roseanne A. Brown. I don't know if any of you guys have been here this long, but I originally read this book for the reading rush last year, and I vlogged the experience. Unfortunately, I was in a reading slump that week. It was the worst timing ever known to man that the only week I have a reading slump last year is reading rush week. And so I really didn't enjoy this book. I gave it a pretty bad review. I really didn't get the hype. I found it really, really boring. But I did say in that reading vlog that I would be willing to give it a try when I wasn't in a reading slump anymore. And I am successfully out of my most recent one, thanks to YA contemporaries. Given the prompt that I'm setting myself, I'm gonna give this book another try. This is a very popular book on BookTube that is based on African mythology, I believe. This book follows two different perspectives. There are kidnapping spirits and deals with the devil and assassination attempts and using dark magic to raise people from the dead. It's got all of the things that you'd think I would like in a fantasy, but this book just really didn't come together for me. I really didn't enjoy it or understand what the hell's going on the first time I read it, but maybe it will be second time lucky. I'm trying to go into this book feeling good about it. So yeah, we are giving this another shot. The fourth and final book on this TBR is more of a if I have time to read this, but it's not actually on my TBR kind of book, is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper. This is obviously not an Own Voices book, so doesn't necessarily match the rules that I've set out for myself. However, this is a book centered around race and racial injustice, and it is already on my TBR cart and a book that I've set out for myself to read in my 21 books to read in 2021 video. So I'm adding it to the list because I feel like it still does kind of fit what I want to get out of the Do-the-Thing-A-Thon, but this is why it's kind of a maybe we'll get to it. I also think that I'm going to read this book really slowly because it's a kind of classic and I don't read those particularly fast. It's an if I get to it, just so it doesn't slow down my pace for the other books that I do particularly want to read next week. And so here is my final TBR for the Do-the-Thing-A-Thon. I am so excited about this readathon and just in general excited to be taking part in readathons in general. I haven't taken part in a readathon in so long because I just didn't want to buy books specifically for one, and I love that this readathon is just so open to anyone and open to any book or any goal, and it's just a great way to start when I'm kind of on a book buying ban. Kind of, not really, but I'm trying to cut down on the books that I buy. If you guys have read any of these books, which I imagine that you have because they're all pretty mainstream, do you please let me know what you thought of them down below. I would love to go into them knowing what you think. I kind of already have an order in mind of how I read them, but maybe your opinion will change them. I only know that I'm reading Get a Life, Chloe Brown first, and then I think I'm going to read Legendborn second, but I don't know. We could switch it up, so do let me know what you think. Thank you guys very much for watching this video, especially if you made it this far. If you did make it this far, then why not hit that big red subscribe button down below and watch some of my other content, because clearly you can stand watching this long, so you know, why not? And all of my videos are organised into playlists for your perusal. Why not? Could help a gal out. Thank you again for watching the rest of this video. Do let me know your thoughts on these books, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. Good luck to you guys if you are also doing the Do-the-Thing-A-Thon, and reach out to me on Twitter if you are, and maybe we can do it together. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I will see you next week for my next video. Bye guys.